greetings. Okay. So going to the 40,000-year-old Lionman. I just found this. I don't think I ever heard of it. I think it was found in Europe somewhere. Something like that. My keen research skills are non-existent. I guess it was found in 1937. I'm just finding out about it now. I guess they restored it. I think they found it in Europe somewhere, but it's not much to look at. But we'll connect to it anyway. Just for, they were definitely here. Of course, obviously there's no way to prove it, but it's also not just them, but canine beings and so on. So erased from history for various different reasons. We'll just let that sit in for a little bit. Interesting, that lion energy feels, Syrian. At least the one from that figure. Obviously, there's Lyrian felines here. They're here out of curiosity. Of course, they did leave their DNA here in some form or another. But it does seem like they were here even as like feline indigenous beings, like a tribe, feline tribe, tribal people. I think they feel like they kept themselves pretty quiet, but they were obviously seen every now and then. Imagine that, like you're a caveman or a cave people, or just a tribe, and you just see lion people just start walking up to like 6-7 foot lion energies. So all these animals came from somewhere. So of course your average person is not asking and don't even care because they're living in la la land. Which is normal. That's like being normal, huh? And the skull and bones. Yale University, tapping into their energies. Yeah, I felt a little bit of pushback from them. I haven't tapped them in a long time. I think a while back, went through some of the universities, tapped in some of their energies, but you could say, I don't know. It feels like half of Congress, or Congress, I guess, maybe not the Senate, Congress has influence from the skull and bones. Doesn't mean they're all skull and bones people, but there's definitely a manipulation coming from the skull and bones. Not that we would know because it's all secret. Find your sellouts. I would say even Nancy Pelosi was manipulated by them in a certain way. Of course, in a friendly manner. Maybe they feed her cockroaches at night. It certainly does show. That's the whole gender situation there, like changing their gender and male one day, female the next. That's a lot of these elites. Not all of them, but there are some that are just crazy with all that. So we're like a reflection of those that are controlling our reality or manipulating it. We're psychotic, obviously. And then again, society is pretty psychotic also. So we're all getting kind of tired of all of it. And also connect to the fifth dimension, just bring a lighter frequency. A point of view of all these things, the lion man, the skull and bones, and anything for that matter. Media blackouts, whatever it needs to be connected to. So, let's see if there's anything else. The lion man energy, it's not much to go by, but it is getting kind of it's getting some attention, at least when it came out. So that's some kind of encouragement there. Obviously, man can see a lot more in the fourth dimension, but they can't show a lot here, obviously, because we're all crazy here. You can't show lion people or dog people walking around. Of course, you see that as humans. As I'm talking about comic prep sessions, we have scheduler. I'm also starting to use Riverside now instead of Zoom because I can't get any of the other ones to work right. They keep failing. So now I got another one. So far, so good. Just they have connection issues. So that's as close to Zoom as I'm going to get, it seems. And I have the webinar. So, social network behind the scenes. Yeah, Zoom is yeah, because Zoom records you and keeps it for themselves. Of course, I guess people don't care, but more power to you on that one. The life of convenience. So this is yeah, it's not much to look at. Of course, you have a dynamic thumbnail like that. Of course, they said it has been restored. I don't know how you would do that. How would you restore something that's 40,000 years old? But I'm not going to go into it. It's a transformer. But yeah, it is a humanoid feline person. It's, I don't know. It's, well, either way, they are here for sure. I imagine a lot of people are not. It's an exhibit in Germany. A lot of people are probably not taking it too seriously. Well, you know, when you're normal, why would you? Too busy being mind controlled by society. You know, we have Skull and Bones. Of course, you don't hear much about these guys for obvious reasons. I'm not sure what this is about. Is that nice? Yeah, they have. I mean, there's nothing anybody can do about it. So, yeah, George Bush. They. I'm not sure what that's about. But Bush did an interview back in, was it 2011? Of course, he didn't say anything about, he can't say anything about it, but also is John Kerry. Let's see, John Kerry, Skull and Bones. Yeah, John Kerry's Skull and Bone. Okay, where is it? I put John Kerry, and you don't see John Kerry anywhere. But he's a bonesman too. He was asked about Skull and Bones also. The reporter that asked about it kind of died after that, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, that's the interview right there. Yeah, he asked both of them. I think it was in the ask. Yeah, it was this guy, Tim Russell. He asked about this. He asked these two guys as a run. It was in 2004, I believe. And he just mysteriously, the interviewer died mysteriously. It was just kind of, maybe it's nothing. Just a little convenient. Oh, it's 2008. So I guess it was a 2008. I think it was 2004 when he did the interview, though. I don't know if they can have that here. Yeah, it was 2004, so he didn't die like instantly. I thought it was kind of interesting how so he didn't die right afterwards, but I think it's kind of, he wasn't that old either. So I don't know if it shows us. Yeah, it was like 58. He wasn't that old, so just 58 is still kind of up there, but I just thought it was kind of unique. With that, all right, so yeah, it's a little bit late. So all right, we're going to the Lionman energies. Yeah, once again, Syrian frequency, tapping the Skull and Bones and their transvestite energies and whatever they are. Yeah, they're just a little bit trendy in that way, aren't they? and mind control and everything else that they're connected to. Yeah, I don't have any field trips going to. Well, imagine there's many that do have field trips go see it, but just not much you can see. You just go there, look at a building, and that's about it. Not too exciting. I don't think Yale can get rid of that building either. It's like because Skull and Bones is kind of running the place, but what do I know? I imagine it is, and also, of course, we're connected to your aerospace companies and everything. Of course, it's all hearsay, right? But use your best judgment, intuition. Come on. Just because the media is not talking about it, of course, they're not going to talk about it. That would be an interesting world if they just talk about all this crazy stuff and not care. But anyway, they're not set up for that, obviously. So, all right, we're going to the Lionman, Skull and Bones, and then the fifth dimension. See what comes in. All right, blessings. Greetings. This is the Lionman. Consciousness. Realize we are warning from you. The depth of the human, how far you go into your emotions, your ideas, of the depth of how the mind works here is quite fascinating. Of course, from our fourth dimensional perspective, yes, we can go deep, but how humans go, the passion of this reality of the human is intense. Like thoughts here can really, help someone grow or cause someone a lot of pain without even knowing it. It's this unknown energy that you carry with yourselves. It's fascinating. And of course, alien beings are affected by it a great deal, but we feel like we need to learn more about it. And being a feline being here doesn't fit in with your human counterparts. It's human has been selected here, depending on how you look at it. So having a feline being, trying to learn these experiences with you isn't going to happen. So we integrated more into the human, to who you are, the human. The canines is the same also. And of course, yes, the wizard people. And not all wizard people are, yes, negative, not at all. It's just there are some that are trying to actually protect humans. And they might be a little bit vicious. They're kind of like a crossing guard. They're a little bit, maybe are overkill with that. Of course, the human here is extremely impatient. But then again, from what is being kept away from you, it's understood. Because feel like many of you feel like you're in isolation, even if you do have some kind of a social life. It's still very isolating. You still can't really be yourself. And that's another fascinating part of being here. So, the strongest survive here. And why many incarnate here continuously, because, yes, you might not enjoy your incarnation here, but you can handle it. So that's why some of you are selected to incarnate here for your collective consciousness to assist. And you do get some rewards to some level, but you're not given too many physical, like material awards, because that can take you off your path. But you're giving like health, you're given certain things that you're not, that you take for granted. So if you're given like a new car every year, you'll be focusing on that and become spoiled and just, So you're given other things they don't see, maybe nice hair or good eyesight or decent eyesight and so on, or a good intellect, whatever it might be. And of course, it goes much deeper than what we're speaking about. But as for feline beings connected to humans, yes, indeed. Before written history, of course. But there was no reason to write anything down at the time. And yes, it is a wild. Now you can use your imagination or remote view the past and see what you can see. And a lot of it's just A simpler time. Not exactly easy, but a simpler time. Because us as feline beings are so not understanding your version of human. Like they're felines are scared of humans. Well, this not used to the vibration that you're at. These are feline humanoids. So you can say the feline beings, well, there's different versions, but the ones that we're speaking of were, you know, naive, you can say, but curious. Of course, they had intelligence. They understood how to make fire and to self-preserve, which actually taught, say, some humans a different way of doing things. But also realized the feline coat, the fur was much needed for the humans. So you can say feline, that was also used for warmth at one time. Of course, humans already knew about that, but we feel our minds and your mind can combine, especially with senses, with for the psychic abilities, we can join together. And some of you access more of your feline self or your canine connections, and some of you are connected to the porpoise. Of course, you're connected to all kinds of things. Some of you guys connected to insectoids. Insectoid beings are very, they can, like humans here. Some humans are actually human spiders, and they have like a web, but maybe that web is like sometimes a manipulation. All depends on the situation. There's female spiders, male spiders, and yeah, they if they want to catch their prey, they can use people against themselves and get who they want. So yeah, they do use their web, but not in a physical sense. To give you another perspective. Greece, this is the skull and bones consciousness. And yes, many of you are battling this energy in astral. It's not all reptilian. There is some Anunnaki there, but it's sorcery. There's wizard energy there. Yeah, it's not exactly, it's selfish. Let's put it that way. It's not exactly roses, and it does have a lighter side. Like, of course, it uses that for manipulation, but not all of them are bad. Some of them join this group so that they can do horrible things, but they also want to be involved with it and do something right. There's not many of them because they can only handle it for so long. And there's also a respect there within the skull and bones of, wow, went through all of that to do something good, and we're trying to kill you. Something around those lines. So as long as you don't cross the line, expose them, they really don't care. It was like, it was an agenda to suppress society, and then you have more of your positive skull and bonesmen trying to give like leaks, some kind of you know alternative for you to win in some level, to give you some kind of information. Of course, they're going to use others to do it. They're not going to be themselves. Yes, they're connected to BlackRock and these other investment companies very quietly. You can say they're the ones that are part of those those mutual fund, those is part of the creation of that. And they're very much connected to the stock market, of course, and its manipulations. Not all bonesmen are not interested in those type of things, but they want to keep control of the markets, as some of you can imagine. And once again, astrally, you might see some of these bonesmen as the men in black. You might see it as a person with no face. In the astral realms, you might have like a crystal face, like you can't see their face, or shadows, whatever it might be. They're not about to show themselves. Now, sometimes they might show you a politician, but usually they keep in the shadows. They're also very connected to the druids, basically just ancient wizardry. That's not taught in schools for obvious reasons, because wizardry is being used against society. Even your universities have a wizardry type of energy. At least the old universities. The newer ones kind of like squares, kind of boring, not that interesting. But the older ones have the most power. Of course, the new ones act like they have power, but they're more obsessed with artificial intelligence. But just because they call it artificial intelligence doesn't mean it's not intelligent. So, but there's just so much trickery, created in this world. So those that have this type of wizardry, uh, they continue the negativity. It's like how they continue to be clever here, take away your rights to wherever they can, and they keep, they do terrible things here, but then they get rewarded, so they keep doing it, and that's whether because they're challenging society. So it's up to society to fight back, and if they lose, they lose, and they don't always win either, but it's like their reason for existence is to fight, society, to manipulate, to pull the rug from under it, tricks their energies, play dirty. It doesn't really matter. Throw people in jail that haven't done anything, and so on. So it's just, but there is sometimes some relief, as some of you noticed. You're not being constantly hit by storms and weather activity and just flooding the whole planet. So they can't do that, but they can bring in some kind of suppression. And it's just enough where society still looks the other way. It's like if they push society too much, yes, it'll come back to them. But just push it in certain, different levels, different pushing, society in different angles. Society seems to take it and not care. Some of you do, but it's not the whole world. So it's done covertly, as you've noticed. Agrees with energies from the fifth dimension. Yes, of course, you come here to balance your frequencies, find some kind of reason, secret why you're here. Is always not going to reveal why you're here. Of course not. That's kind of ruins the whole purpose of being here. It has to do with your actions and how you deal with certain situations. But just what you do with your life, really. It's up to you. You decide. No one's judging you. You judge yourselves. As for the lion energies, obviously there's a great more deeper energy there. But yes, society is not asking for it. They're not asking for lion people or canine people, scorpion people, unicorn people. They're not asking for that to show up in the physical realms as of yet. There's still a lot of pushback, but you're building, a feature for it to be more accepted. The bizarre. As your horse, half man, half horse beings. That is a little bit extreme, but for some of you, bizarreness is where you come from. That's normal. And, you might have little costumes you can put on. That's good. That's a start. For having it showing here physically, it's difficult. That's a tough one. But as for the skull and bones frequencies, yes, they develop a lot of karma, but obviously they don't care because usually the karma is not for this world, usually for other worlds. Sometimes they do get affected by their health, their mental state, their vision state. Their soul can easily decay during those moments. So, and they don't really care. Their process is much different than your average human, as you can see. And just because they're grown up in wealth and all, it doesn't mean anything really, because they realize there's a hollowness there where they tap into a version of their talents, but they don't always get to see their full talents or their full potential. Of course, society doesn't always get to see it either, but they don't either. They can buy everything, but a lot of them don't even know who they are. So they continue to manipulate society, but also have a lot of guilt built into it. So at least many of you don't feel so guilty here, which is good. But you're here to, defend yourselves, win. What you are is still here. But yes, many are letting go. But that's where the weaker energies are. That's where things are falling apart. But still, No matter what others say, insults, whatever it is, you're still strong, continuing on to live another day, as they say. And that's what matters really in the long run, no matter what anyone says. They're going to try to do everything they can to break it down. It's just how it works. That's just the way this world is designed. And so nothing works and they can't do it anymore. But you're getting there, but you still have a while to go, as you can see. Blessings.